Hello everyone, welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all doing good and well. So in this Tuesday's album review, I'm reviewing the 11th studio album from death metal band Obituary and their release Dying of Everything, which came out last week on Friday the 13th of January. The album's 10 tracks and 45 minutes in length. In Obituary, we've got John Tardy on vocals, Kenny Andrews on lead guitar, Trevor Perez on rhythm guitar, Terry Butler on the bass, and Donald Tardy on the drums. So Obituary are a band that surprisingly, I don't know them all that well. I have seen them live. I saw them live several years ago, and I remember they were extremely loud. I think one of the loudest bands I've actually seen at a gig, Obituary. It was really loud, so I think my ears were ringing for a while afterwards, but I enjoyed the gig despite that. I thought they were good live. The only albums I actually know really are Slowly We Rot and Cause of Death, and haven't listened to much of their recent stuff, to be honest, so kind of didn't really know what to expect, or what kind of evolution the band have taken in these more recent years. And actually I was quite pleasantly surprised by this album. I mean, it's not incredible, I would say, but what it does quite well, and there's lots of really good meaty visceral guitar riffs on this album. So I think if you gravitate slightly more towards that style of death metal, you probably quite enjoy this. There's some good, what I call headbangability to this record, and therefore I quite enjoyed this one. And so let's go into the tracks a little bit more on this album. I thought the opening track was just a good slice of old school death metal, really. Barely Alive was I thought a pretty strong way to start this album off. Second track, The Wrong Time, I liked that on my first couple of listens, but by the kind of third or fourth listen I just started to lose a bit of interest in the track. It was like, once you've heard that one a couple of times, you kind of know it gets a little repetitive for me, that one. That's what I found with The Wrong Time, but still actually quite a solid song. The track I really liked from, and still really enjoy is War. I thought this was a fantastic, pretty heavy, but got that bit of that groove I was talking about, a really meaty guitar riff in this one, which I really enjoy. So I just found that song a lot of fun to listen to. I thought the title track had, some good dynamics to it, some good shifts in tempo, great drumming here from Donald Tardy in this track, the title track. So that was actually a really decent track as well. I thought I enjoyed that one. And then the other tracks I really liked on this album were more towards the end of the album. I actually liked Weaponize the Hate a lot and Torn Apart. Weaponize the Hate, I thought, did good alternating of some really good fast riffs on this track that I enjoyed. And then Torn Apart carries on that kind of thrashy riff fest and keeps that momentum going on this album. The momentum is kept towards the end. The last track kind of was a little bit doomier, I thought, a little bit gloomier. Still not bad. And overall here, as I say, I think you've got a reasonably good album from Obituary. What I'll say, maybe slightly more in criticism of the album, is I felt listening to this, and I don't know if it was my speakers maybe, but it didn't feel like I could really hear the vocals particularly clearly. It felt like the vocals were a bit buried in the mix on this album, if I'm being honest. Some of the tracks as well I thought lacked the pizzazz and the excitement of some of the other tracks for me too. As I say, one or two I found a little repetitive and didn't feel as imaginative as some of the other more kind of sparkier moments on this album. But an enjoyable record overall, some good songs, and as I say, just enjoying that bit of visceral style to this album really, and headbangability. So my final score for Obituary Dying of Everything is going to be a 7.5 out of 10, which is actually, after 3 album reviews so far this year, that's my highest score so far in 2023. So well done, Obituary. I thought this was just an enjoyable album. I mean, as I say, it wasn't anything incredible, but I really quite liked this. So that's my final score for Obituary Dying of Everything. What did you think of this one? Let me know, as always, in the comments. So coming up on the Green Man, we of course have the next Saturday premiere coming up this weekend, which will be me ranking the Conjuring Universe films, a video which actually at this point I have already recorded. I just need to do the editing and stuff, and then that'll be ready to premiere on Saturday night. And the other thing obviously this week is I am doing my shorts video uploads of some of my favourite epic length tracks, or my favourite 10-minute plus songs, which I'm sharing. These are just, you know, some recommendations for anyone that kind of is looking for some great longer kind of proggy post-metal sort of tracks, really. So anyway, that's it for me for this album review. Otherwise, take care, everybody, and bye for now.